So we're talking about saying I love you to our children, or telling our children that we love them, genuinely love them, and also that we it should not be conditional. It shouldn't be that you love them because of something that they've done correctly. I think that you should absolutely be able to say I love you for no reason whatsoever, just because you're feeling it at that moment. And you had mentioned earlier something about how it's good to sort of begin, for everyone to begin to understand why you're saying it. Like, you feel it and that's why you say it. And the child begins to learn that people say it because they mean it. And when they mean it, I think it's also a good way of a little bit of love intelligence and programming that we can share with our children.
My father never said I love you to me.
Never, right.
He just did his fatherly thing.
Yeah.
But when my son got sick, we happened to have this encounter that he's given me kind of experienced conversation.
Right.
Be patient. Don't jump to conclusions. Be hopeful. And at the end of that conversation, when he said, I love you, son, I felt it. I really felt it in my heart. He said it.
Yeah.
He said it. And since then, I think he's seen that made an impact on me.
Oh, yeah?
That's only 4 years ago. Throughout my young life, he didn't really say it to me.
When you say it made an impact, was it because he's continued to say it?
He has. He has continued to say it. And it seems for him, he does it when hard times are happening.
Your story proves that all of the men out there who are saying, well, I don't have to tell my wife I love her, or I don't have to tell my children I love them because I'm doing all of this work, it turns out that some 40 years later, a grown man such as yourself, a big, tough-looking guy such as yourself, your father tells you that he loves you, and you're melted.
Oh, man, it made such an impact on me.
Yeah.
Because, knowing what love was, because my mother made sure we did.
Yeah.
So, and growing up in an area where there was no love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I didn't get it at home, I wasn't going to get it at school.
It wasn't until I read a book by Alfie Kahn. The name of the book is Unconditional Love, or Unconditional Parenting. But before I finished the book, I was clear on what you just said. No matter what your child does, he ultimately is a good human being. Yes. And if you ever think of him as doing something bad, in fact, he's just being himself, and you're projecting whatever bad of yours. But he's just being a child, and you have to love him. The I love you when is very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
You could really kill the whole love.
The love goes right out the window. It becomes about when I do this.
Very conditional.
Yes.
Very conditional. Very, I love you when you clean your room. I love you when you do the homework. But if you don't do the homework, maybe I'm not, maybe I don't love you so much. That's rough. That's rough. And part of the lesson absolutely is that you tell your children you love them, even though you had a difficult moment 5 minutes ago. Maybe he was a little misbehaved. Maybe you were a little mean. But then 5 minutes later, or however long, within that same day, whatever, you're saying, I love you still. So then the child is growing up saying, okay, wait a minute. It isn't, right? Yes. It isn't that only when I'm good does he say I love you.
And it also works as a reset. You know what I'm saying? When you tell your child you love them, it puts things into context no matter what they did before.
Right, yeah, that's very cool.
Besides them understand, hearing it, you're saying it to yourself in a way.
Yeah, sure.
I love you, child. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's okay what you did, let's move forward. A lot of the times, especially with females, if they don't get the right affection home, they're going to go and get that affection somewhere else.
Yeah.
And of course, that's an issue.
I'm very disconnected with how to raise a daughter.
Yes.
But I think that what you're saying is logical. It's got to be one of those universal truths, which is if you're not telling your daughter that you love her, if you're not treating her with that respect and with that unconditional love, she is going to go look for it somewhere else.
Absolutely.
She has to. If you wanted proof of whether saying I love you to your children is right or wrong, or if it makes sense, or if it's something that you should even do, I think you hit it on the head. She will go out, if you don't say it, she will go out and look for somebody else to say it to her. And that person may not have your daughter's best interest.
Absolutely.
At hand.
And use those words.
Yes. Exactly.
As bait.
As bait, yeah.
You know what
absolutely.
I mean?
That's it.